My name is David Tran, and this is LuxTV, shedding and spreading light for the chiropractic student. We have chiropractor Dr. Gilles LaMarche in Dallas, Texas. He was the #1 Canadian chiropractor for over 25 years and is a professional speaker, writer, business and professional development coach, and now a mentor and friend to you. He has been jet-setting all over the globe, firing up fellow chiropractors and chiropractic students in Europe, Australia, and all over the United States. In June alone, he spoke in 7 different countries. He's here to speak about his recent book, The Art of Responsibility, The Freedom to Create Your Own Life. Dr. Gilles, welcome to LuxTV.
Good morning, David. It's a pleasure to be with you and the viewers of LuxTV.
Yes, so let's get straight to it. Why should a chiropractic student immediately read your book?
Well, as you know, having read the book yourself, it's a short read. It's a good read. It's a read that actually will cause you to think. It's a read that will allow you to develop your why. And I would tell you that the main reason would be that once you get clarity around your why, you start discovering that the how-to actually starts showing up. Most people don't know what their why is, and they just go along their day and experience whatever it is that's going to happen. When we have a really, really clear why, we have direction, we have focus, we have this ability to think in the direction that we want to create our lives in. And that's really why it's important. And, I created it as a short read. There's, as you know, there's a small working section in the book, but that's really the crux of the matter, is discovering your why. What is it that you're passionate about? And when you get clear with that, boy, life just gets more beautiful.
Yes, and I read in the book that, and I know this from knowing you personally, that your big why is your children. And if you haven't heard his son's story, Christopher, I will link the video below. One of the major themes in your book is taking personal responsibility. Why is that so important?
We live in a culture, David, that people expect to receive from all over the place and from all sorts of people, and they expect it right now. The reality is that we as individuals, when we take personal responsibility for how we think, what we choose, and how we behave, we get to create the life that we want to create. You are not where you are in your life because of somebody else. You are where you are in your life because of you, the choices that you made. If you're happy with where you're at, you've probably been making really, really good choices. If you're unhappy with where you're at, you've probably made choices that are not in line with who you want to become, and give you the result of who you want to become when you're clear. If you're unclear, you just haphazardly live a life. You wake up this morning, you do whatever it is you think you should be doing, and you go to bed at night when the day is over. When you take full responsibility for everything that's happening in your life, you start recognizing that the first thing that you can take full responsibility for are the choices, or rather the thoughts that you allow into your mind. And when you choose good thoughts, you create a great life. When you choose happy thoughts, you're more likely to be happy. When you choose successful thoughts, you're more likely to be successful. But guess what? When you choose to be impatient and you choose to be angry, that's the type of life that you're going to attract. I don't want that into my life. So I learned to pay attention that if I have a thought that would lead me into anger, I see that as an emotion that doesn't serve me, then I choose to replace those thoughts with thoughts of gratitude, with thoughts of joy, with thoughts of beauty. And the minute you start taking responsibility for the thoughts that you allow into your mind or to stay in your mind, the clearer you get that you can create the life that you want.
Oh, wow.
It's really not that complex.
Oh, yes. And if you haven't done so already, I hope you've already grabbed a pen and pencil and grabbed all these golden nuggets, which kind of leads to my next question. The book is not only just a book, but it's also a workbook with lots of quotes and affirmations. So what's the benefits of that?
Well, number one is that the reason why I made it a little bit of a workbook is because I believe that if you read a book and you don't really integrate your thought processes into what the book is attempting to tell you, nothing changes. So there's a few little sections that allow you to think, then actually allow you to take an action step and write out some of the pieces that are actually coming through your mind so you can get really, really clear. 10 years ago, roughly, we believed that the brain didn't have the capacity to change. Neuroscience has changed our process of thinking as it relates to that. One of my favorite people, one of my favorite authors as it relates to neuroscience, and who's become a really, really good friend, is Dr. Joe Dispenza. Mm-hmm. And, in speaking with Joe and understanding neuroscience at a deeper level, I came to understand the value of affirmations. Affirmations, they are ingredients that allow you to, metaphorically, bake the cake that you want to bake. Choosing affirmations that are in line with who you want to become, choosing affirmations that are in line with the life that you want to live, then allow you to actually live that life, because it actually morphologically and physiologically changes brain function. We're chiropractors. We've got chiropractic students on LuxTV. That's the whole goal. Understanding the nervous system, isn't it? These tools in this little tiny book will actually allow you to create that change if you choose to, of course. That's why the art of responsibility. If you love the life that you're living, keep doing what you're doing, keep thinking what you're thinking. If there are parts of your life that are not exactly how you want to live them, step back, what I call a pivotal moment, pay attention. How have I been thinking? What thoughts have I allowed into my brain that have caused me to be where I am today? And take responsibility for the thoughts. It's not your mother's fault, your father's fault, your girlfriend's fault, your boyfriend's fault that you are where you're at. It's because you chose to make decisions that brought you there, good or not so good. And then I look at all experiences as just being experiences. There's no bad or good experiences. They're simply experiences. Mm. And when we take life that way, we start deciding what type of experience we want most of the time. And what can we do? How can we choose our thoughts so that we get to experience what we want to experience most of the time? And we get to develop a life that's purposeful, that's got clarity, that gives us vibrancy. Because at the end of the day, for me anyway, what I want to experience, my 3 favorite experiences: peace, joy, and bliss.
Yes.
That's the life that I choose to create for myself. It doesn't mean that I'm not busy. I'm very busy. But in the busyness of it all, I have a sense of joy. I start this morning. I've been at it for a couple hours this morning. I choose peace. And I know that by the end of the day, it's going to have been another blissful day. But I've done it by choice. And I did that when I was a student as well. There's nothing that stops you as a student, even though you've got class and tests and labs and technique sessions, to choose to experience this sense of joy, this sense of peace. Because when you do, you open yourself up to learning. You don't close yourself down. Bliss, peace, and joy, parasympathetic nervous system activity. Anger, frustration, sympathetic nervous activity. Who wants to live in a sympathetic state?
No.
Only when a lion is chasing me do I want to be in a sympathetic state to protect myself and save my life. But otherwise, I want to live most of my life in a parasympathetic state. With little bumps of sympathetic atonia, but not live in that sympathetic state all the time. And this book will actually teach you that.
Yes, and what a powerful way to be able to go into finals week or a heavy test load week with those tools and strategies. So what is the greatest advice you could give to our chiropractic student audience?
The greatest advice would be to focus on discovering your purpose. Why do you do what you do? Day in and day out. Short-term strategies, long-term strategies. Of course, you're chiropractic students. You all have a dream of becoming a chiropractor. Well, dream big. Have a dream of becoming an exceptional chiropractor, not just a chiropractor. This is not about the piece of paper that you're going to get from chiropractic college when you graduate. It's about enjoying the journey, doing everything that you can while you're in school that will allow you to become an exceptional chiropractor from the day you graduate. It's not about focusing on the lowest common denominator. It's not about focusing on minimum accomplishment. It's about focusing on maximizing the use of all the time that you're there. So depending on the school, you may have 300 adjustments or 350 adjustments necessary to graduate. Why would we focus on just doing that? Why not say, I will attract all the people that want and require my services while I'm a chiropractic intern. And even when I meet my criteria, or even when I meet the lowest common denominator that's required for graduation, I will continue to serve. I will serve the people that want my service. Understanding when you serve them, they get well, but guess what? You get better. And so I focused on doing that when I was in the clinical setting at Canadian Memorial Chiropractic College, and I graduated having seen more than 1,200 patient visits in clinic. Okay, and I think we had to do 350. I think at the time we had to add 30 new patients, and I had over 120 new patients. So some of my friends would say, "Oh man, you're wasting your time. Why are you doing that for the school?" And I looked at them and said, "Dude, this is not about the school. This is about the people who want the help, and it's about me becoming the best chiropractor I can be, and having the help of the clinicians and the school clinical environment to help me become good. So when I get into the real world, I'm already a little bit better than I would have been if I focused on the lowest common denominator." Choose your purpose. Be very clear of who you want to become. Be very clear of your why. And when you have that clarity, then behave in line with that clarity. And be amazed by what you're going to attract into your life. The law of attraction is real. You either attract what you don't want because that's what you're thinking about, or you attract what you do want when you have a clarity of what that is.
Oh, wow. That is such valuable advice. I mean, if you're not walking, run and go grab this book. Dr. Gilles, thank you so much for your time and sharing your wisdom with us. If you want a copy of his book or to connect with him directly, all the links will be provided below. Students, if you want to win a copy of his book, tag the name of the next chiropractor you want me to interview. Not one, not two, but 5 random winners will be selected. Be on the lookout for upcoming interviews as we stand on the shoulder of chiropractic giants by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Once again, if you want to win a copy of his book, tag the name of the next chiropractor you want me to interview below. My name is David Tran, and this was LuxTV, shedding and spreading light for the chiropractic student.